What up, YouTube? I'm back. You know who it is, Big Will. And this shit. Another episode of Life After Prison. This story touches home. Was watching an interview with a guy that I watch on YouTube. 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all and you're rocking with me, that's his motto. But good dude, you know what I mean? I like his videos, check him out. Go watch 1090 Jake, hit him up. He's a red blood, but in one of his interviews he was talking about how some rat from Florida called Pino or some shit like that. Dude's a rat, whatever, doing house burglaries. And ended up telling on the bitch he was with, she had the shit, blah blah blah. Well, it turns out the dude's a rat. Anyways, Jake drops the paperwork on him, telling a story about him. But anyways, this Colin Pino goes up to he's doing a trip, and he's going to Boston, not to fuck with Jake about anything, but to on some other shit. So why Jake's there, they got some internet beef and shit. Why Jake's there, he tells him, well, you coming through Boston, drops the address, blah blah blah, let's get it rocking. And they go back and forth, pussy this and that. And by the way, most of this shit you can find all these videos on YouTube that show all this shit. You can look them all up yourself. But anyway, telling how, he's not going to a fight carrying a gun. He's a felon, he can't pack a gun. Just like me, I can't carry guns. I can't carry guns as a felon. He goes into saying how, he's not gonna bring a knife, because if he brings a knife, he's gonna have to use it. You know what I mean? And if he brings a knife and it happens to fall, the dude picks it up, maybe he gets stabbed. Well, while he was telling that story, it hit me right there, because that happened to a relative of mine. Rest in peace, little Bill. Any of you from my area, Fall River, know him. Billy Dupris, good kid, good family kid. You know what I mean? Everybody loved him. Good looking kid, popular with all the girls. Big stud like the rest of the family. Watch it, but so he's anyways, he gets into this lifestyle that we're all from Fall River. We all run into the drug scene, and a bunch of shit happens. He gets into the crack scene and whatever else. I'm not gonna put dirt on his name. Everyone knows what he was into. He got into the scene and shit. But he runs across this kid who I guess this kid ends up, he sells weed or whatever. Weed or coke or some shit. The kid sells drugs. I guess Billy, my cousin Billy, and a couple of guys, a couple of friends from his neighborhood, Donnie Alfonso, Jermaine Brooks, bunch of kids. They plan on setting this kid up and robbing him. They're gonna order so much shit and show up and take it. You know what I'm saying? It's typical shit that happens when you get mixed up in drugs. You know what I'm saying? You get into it where you have no money and you start scheming, and who you gonna rob? You can rob a store, shit, and we gotta use a gun, blah blah blah. We can rob a bank, damn, we're getting a note, we're doing Fed time, all this shit happens, you know what I'm saying? Long story short, couple shit happens. I guess I guess living life in the streets when you're homeless and you gotta go, sleep underneath the bridge because of this and that. I'm talking about living life in the streets when you're grinding, when you're out there, when the phone's ringing and it's you're making $1,000 plays every day. You know what I'm saying? It's the life we lived. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, that's for another day, another story. But shout out to Sunset Hill of Bricks, local project where we all grew up, we all hang, you know what I'm saying? We're all from the same hood. So, anyways, like I was saying, my cousin Billy, a bunch of these kids, they get to, where they're gonna rob this kid, for his drugs, money, whatever he's got, so, I guess the kid, like I said, got word of it. So when they called him, the kid wanted to meet him, but he did it the smart way. He didn't bring nothing with him. He didn't have nothing with him. He went empty-handed. So this kid shows up. Hey, what's up? If they're gonna play straight, they got the money. He'll get him the drugs. You know what I'm saying? But what he knows, and him knowing that they're looking to set him up, kid's smart enough. He don't bring nothing. They're in the car, they start, hey, this is what I want, blah, 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 kid, all right, give me the money. They're like, give us your shit. Oh, we don't have no money. Give us your shit, I don't have anything, we'll give us your money, stop the car, get them out of the car, they start hitting the kid, they stop beating the kid up, fighting with the kid, they're hitting him, they're going back and forth, they're kicking him and punching him, and they're jumping him, you know what I'm saying? They're giving the kid a beating, and I guess they're rolling around, and I wasn't there, so I only, when I tell you the story, mind you, I wasn't there. I only go on the story that was told from Donnie Alfonso, who was there. He was one of the kids that was there with my cousin Billy. But according to Donnie, so what happens, and this is where the story kicks in with Jake. Jake, like I said, talking about, you bring a knife to a fight, and if, you're fighting and you drop your knife and, maybe the other kid grabs it. Well, apparently while they're fighting, my cousin Billy's telling Donnie, hey, go to the car, get a tire iron, blah, blah, blah. As Billy goes to take out his knife, he drops it. And they're fighting, and he's hitting him. Well, the kid's getting hit, and he's feeling around. He feels the knife, and he reaches up and he stabs. And he stabs my cousin Billy and stabbed him in the lung. Billy get off of him, fuck, I've been stabbed. Oh shit, he stabbed me. Shit. They all get nervous, they get up, they get Billy in a car, he's, get me to the hospital. The kid gets up, he, whatever, he runs his way, I guess Donnie and them, they're bringing him to the hospital. As they bring him to the hospital, he's, he can't breathe, he's losing, he got stabbed in the lung, and he's choking, he's gasping for air. They get him to the hospital, he's unconscious. I guess they get him out. Help, my friend's been stabbed. They leave him there. Hospital puts him on a gurney. Sands Hospital puts him on a gurney. They bring him in. They work on him. And he dies. He passes away. And he stabs my cousin Billy and stabbed him in the lung. Billy get off of him, fuck, I've been stabbed. Oh shit, he stabbed me. Shit. They They all get nervous. They get up. They get Billy in a car. He's, get me to the hospital. Get me to the hospital. The kid gets up. He, whatever. He runs his way. Da da da. I guess Donnie and them, they're bringing him to the hospital. As they bring him to the hospital, he's, he can't breathe. He's losing. He got stabbed in the lung, and he's choking. He's gasping for air. They get him to the hospital. He's unconscious. I guess they get him out. Help. My friend's been stabbed. They leave him there. Hospital puts him on a gurney. St. Anne's Hospital puts him on a gurney. They bring him in. They work on him. And he dies. He passes away. But, it goes to show how, like Jake said, you bring a gun. You can't have a gun. You're a felon. So he's not going to bring a gun to a fight. He's not going to bring a knife, because if something happens, he drops a knife. As the buddy picks it up, buddy that he's fighting picks it up, he might get stabbed, right? Well, when I was listening to the story, like I said, it just hit home. Like this. I lived through this. That same incident, that same tragedy. And my cousin ended up dying. Rest in peace, Billy. The kid eventually got charged with, he initially got charged with murder. Then it got dropped down to, manslaughter. His lawyer fought it. Of course, he went to the local jail, and, they tried, they beat his ass, because my family's well known in the city that we live in, Fall River. My family's well known. I got a big family. Come around Fall River. You've heard the name Dupas before. They tried getting the kid. He ends up getting shipped out of southeastern Mass. He got shipped out to I want to say down there Boston. He was shipped out to South Bay or something. He was shipped out there for this case. His lawyer ended up using the defense of self-defense, and he ended up beating the case. They were able to prove how these kids set him up. They jumped him. They went to rob him. They jumped him. It wasn't his knife. The perpetrator, which was my cousin, he pulled the knife out. He dropped it. The kid was just fighting for his life. Picked up the knife, swinging wildly, stabbed him. Is when the kid got off him. I guess when he went to, when he got arrested and everything else. He was all bruised and cut up and busted up from being jumped and beat up. So things like that happen. Things like that really happen. And them are the things you gotta watch out for is things that could happen to you. It's not always gonna work out the way you want it to. People play this lifestyle. They walk around with guns. You end up getting shot. You shoot yourself sometimes. You pull a gun, the person has a bigger gun than you. You end up in a street fight, you get shot. You go to a party, you got a knife on you, you pull it out, someone else has a gun. You go to a party, you're arguing with somebody, you might have brass knuckles, you pull it out, the next person has a knife. It's, when you're in this life and you play these games, these are the consequences that happen. Like I say, I got a big family, and when we heard that my cousin was killed, the first initial action of us was round up. Well, you got to get this kid, and we went looking for him. We went by his parents' house. We went by places we knew he stood. We drove around looking for him. There was a big family. Everybody strapped up with guns and, knives, and we're all looking for him. We're trying to mourn the death of my cousin and not knowing what happened, and to then find out that, listen, he went to rob somebody. It hit me in a different way. It would hit me in a different way. Like, yeah, it's still family, and yeah, he did get murdered, right? But like, how about if the tables were turned? How about if this kid and friends came looking for my cousin, and he would have ended up stabbing that kid? Would his friends come looking for him? Things like that happen. That's what I'm saying. Things like that happen. So who's to blame? Is this kid really at fault for killing my cousin when all he was doing was fighting for his life? If someone jumps me, God forbid, and they pull a knife and they drop it, I'm taking it and I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm reaching out and stabbing, Luckily, hopefully I'll never be in that predicament, but these are the things that could happen when you're in that street life. So when you're in that life, you just gotta think, anything could happen. Somebody can get killed, and there's no coming back from death, so really think before you go out there and think about, oh, this kid disrespected my mother or brother. And when I grew up, we used these. This is what we used. You know what I mean? And you walked around and you seen somebody busted up, and they looked at you and they seen their face busted up, and they knew that dude just fucked me up. I better watch my step, and not fuck with him. Nowadays, motherfuckers are cowards. They think nothing is just popping you. They shoot you, and people say, oh, they're crazy, they're nuts. It takes a split second, and some people got that gun and they don't even mean to pull a trigger. Triggers pull that easy, and they shoot and they kill. And once they shoot you and kill you, it's a different story when you're sitting there and a judge hits that fucking gavel and says, life without parole. And you're sitting there and you're crying, and then you get back to the unit, you get back to jail, and you walk around and you get used to it, and yeah, I'm here for murder and blah, 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 and you do eventually get used to the lifestyle and shit. Some people do. Some people can't handle it. We got Aaron Hernandez. Hung that shit right up. Couldn't handle the rest of his life in jail. Traded all the money and fame away for jail. Acting like a tough guy and shooting somebody. Thinking you got away with it. You're going to jail. Can't handle it. Moral story is think before you get out there. Think before you use them weapons. If you're that much of a man, a tough guy, beat somebody's ass if you have to. But killing somebody, that could be your family member. That could be your brother, your sister, your mother, your father. That could be your kid being killed or killing somebody and being, gone for the rest of their life. Think before you act. I know a lot of people, things happen and, they're not meant to, and they're just, their reaction, a lot of things are reaction, but we're all here for a purpose, and God forbid, my purpose is to someday kill somebody, or somebody kill me over something stupid, but I thank you all for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. Come back, join me again for a couple more stories. I'm gonna be here daily, chopping it up, telling the stories, hitting the jail stories, hitting the bullshit that happens in jail, letting you know how we eat, what we go through, the life we live on the streets to make it to jail. Make it to jail like it's an ultimate goal, right? I tried my whole life never to go to jail. When I finally made it, I was like, this is the hype. You know, you heard every year, oh, so and so's in jail, so and so's in jail. It's like a big fucking summer camp. Everybody goes, right? That's where all the boys go every year. Once I went, I didn't want to come back. You know, I made a couple rounds back and forth, but I didn't want to go back. I liked on the outside. I liked being home with my woman. You know what I mean? I liked being home with my woman. I liked eating the foods that I wanted. Don't get me wrong. Once we get that canteen and the ingenious that we go through as convicts, we learn to eat well. we make some good meals. Anybody who knows will tell you, you know. But yeah, just be careful with the weapons and be safe out there. You only got one life. Live it right. Live it to the fullest, but live it right. You don't want to end it stupid by killing somebody or being killed. God bless you all. Hope to see you again on another episode of Life After Prison, and peace. Hit that like and subscribe button. Also hit the share button. If you don't like it, hit it anyways. If you don't like me, hit the like button anyways. Subscribe. Come and listen to this shit. You might learn something. You might look at me and say, look at this fucking idiot. I look at a lot of videos and say, look at these fucking idiots. But they slang that shit. Hit that like and subscribe button, peace. You might be wearing a shirt like this someday. It tells you power and money. That's all it is. I also make t-shirts. If you're interested in them, hit me up. Send me a comment. I'll make you whatever you like. But come back again. Peace. Thanks for watching.